Hello and welcome to Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series Garage Cam presented by Mobile One. I'm Jonathan Merriman filling in for Matthew Dillner this week here with Jesse Iwuji, a very special guest. You've seen him on Garage Cam multiple times, a member of the Navy. So before we get started, give us a quick backstory of your naval career.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm currently in the Navy. I was active duty from 2010 through just a few weeks ago, and then I transitioned into the Navy Reserve. So now I'm part-time in the Navy, and also while being in the Navy for the last 2 years, I've started racing in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West, where I'm racing right now for Patriot Motorsports Group in the number 36 car.
Sounds good. Also a guy you can trust. He's a hot rodder at heart. We were talking about superchargers and all kinds of cool stuff before we started the show, but take a look at Matt DiBenedetto's car.
In the incredible bank car, and Matt, he's actually one of my friends. Last weekend was pretty cool getting to watch him run at Sonoma. I think he had a pretty good run there. And yeah, he's out here this weekend looking for a good run at Daytona for this Coke Zero 400.
Cole Witt, the Arctic number 72. Very cool paint scheme.
Always love the schemes that come with, and you can see he has a nice patriotic scheme for this race weekend. Just because NASCAR has a NASCAR Salutes weekend going on, so you'll see some of the cars have a little bit more patriotic schemes going on this weekend, just to support our troops, support the units, and, support those who are out there, giving that ultimate sacrifice to protect our freedoms.
That car is making me thirsty. It looks like a cooler packed with ice.
I need some ice right now. This Daytona weather is fabulous.
David Reagan rocking the Shriner scheme this weekend. The 38 car.
David's looking to have a pretty good run this weekend too, as all of them.
He's parked next to the 10 of Danica Patrick. Danica Patrick usually runs pretty well at Daytona. She has a pole. She sat on the front row for the Daytona 500.
She had a pretty hard lick at the last Daytona race earlier this year, and she's looking forward to not having that happen again this weekend. But yeah, she should have a pretty good run. This is a track where a lot of different drivers can come and have an opportunity to get a great finish, if not win. It's anybody's game here at this track at Daytona, and she's definitely going to she's looking forward to taking advantage of that.
She ran really, really well at Sonoma. And it was a shame she got caught up in a couple of accidents that were none of her doing.
You know what I really liked at Sonoma is when they put that little helmet cam thing on and they were showing that. That was really awesome. And it really gave the fans a view of what the drivers are doing inside these cars. There's a lot of stuff going on inside these cars, especially at the road courses. But here at Daytona, it seems like they're just driving straight and turning left and it's not that hard, but there's still a lot going on. These cars can get loose, due to aero. They're bumping around due to the turbulence in between all the cars. There's a lot of stuff going on with these cars in these packs, and these drivers are fighting these cars all race for all those laps to keep them, on the track and there for the finish.
And if you don't know what Jesse's talking about, we actually have a clip from the helmet cam that Danica was wearing last weekend at Sonoma on NASCAR.com. Go to NASCAR.com, click the video link there, and you can scroll through and you can find that video. Sonoma's not a very smooth track, hitting those rumble strips and everything. She was bouncing in there.
But it's so much fun though, and I got, last weekend I got a chance to race at Sonoma for my second time in the NASCAR K&N Series, and just getting to hit those bumps and those curves was a really awesome time, and I really loved it. Over here we have Michael McDowell's number 95 car. He's driving the WRL General Contractors 95 Chevrolet. And then over here right next to him with a nice patriotic scheme, we have a Chris Buescher's number 37 car.
We just got talking to Buescher in the garage a little while ago.
I really love always coming over to Amarola's car, the 43. He's always supporting the military. He had parents in the Air Force. You can always see Air Force logo on his race car, whether it's a primary sponsor or the associate sponsor for the race. But as you can see, it's on the car here. He's representing it well.
Of course, Darrell Wallace Jr. in this car this weekend, filling in for Eric Almirola, who is from Florida.
Oh yeah, no, it's great to see Bubba Wallace getting the opportunity to run Cup this year. After heading away from the Roush team, but yeah. I think he's going to do really well here at Daytona. He has a lot of experience here, and it's going to be his first time racing Cup Series at Daytona. So he's going to enjoy it. The fans are going to love seeing it, and it's going to be awesome.
You for sure will not miss Paul Menard's neon yellow. Bowen Menard's number 27 Chevy SS.
Gotta love the paint scheme. Always seeing that neon yellow.
That's a spotter's dream at Daytona.
Oh yeah, exactly. You're like, that's my car right there. That's my car who's not clear. That's my car who is clear. And for spotters here at Daytona, it's definitely difficult where they're standing, up in the spotter stand and looking at the looking on the backstretch of the track. It's really hard to tell where your car is at. Are they inside? Are they outside? Where are they at? So spotters here they have just as a difficult time doing their job as the drivers do doing their job on the track. So the whole team atmosphere here, and just what it takes to really come here and have a great finish and win and be there at the finish of the race. It takes the whole team, whether it's the people in the crews, whether it's a spotter up in the spotter's booth, or it's a driver behind the wheel.
As we make our way to the front side of the garage, let's tell you where you can catch all of the action this weekend for the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. Saturday night, it is the Coke Zero 400, and that is NBC's first race of the year.
Look who we have.
Look, it is. It's Chris Buescher.
Chris Buescher. Chris, so how do you feel about the race this weekend?
It's hot. Very hot, but it'll be fun. It's track's got a lot of character coming back to it, so it's putting on a much better racing now, I think.
Yeah, and we're hearing a lot of drivers say that now the track is starting to feel like it did in the old days. How does that make you feel, and is that something that you can take advantage of?
I never got to run on it in the old days. My first time here was right after the repave, but I do like the direction that it's heading. I feel like the last couple of times here, as we've gotten late into a run, we've had good handling in our cars. They haven't been the fastest on the speed charge single car run, but once we get rolling, it seems to be really good in the race.
Oh yeah, definitely. You'll be running in the pack, keeping up with the draft, and looking forward to seeing you in victory lane, hopefully, right?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Boom, do it.
Jesse Owuji is a pro.
Hey, you gotta be pro whatever you do, right? Maybe after my racing career, when I'm like 45, 46, 47, I might be able to jump in the booth, do a little bit of announcing. Hey, NBC, hopefully you're hearing that.
Hopefully they're listening. Speaking of NBC, the race, all the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup races will switch over to the NBC family of networks. This weekend, the Daytona race will be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on.
Hey, look who we have. We have Darrell Wallace Jr.
Darrell Wallace Jr.
Catch up
Let's
with him.
ambush. Let's ambush.
Let's
this
ambush
guy.
him.
We're gonna ambush him. You walk and talk? How you feeling this weekend? Obviously, hot and slick out here. First time in a Cup car at Daytona. Gonna be pretty crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited. Gonna be back in the car, back in the 43 here in the Cup Series, making my first Cup start here at Daytona. Just got here and learn as much as I can. Texted Junior to figure out what I needed to do, and figure out he's the best one at the plate races. So just trying to take it all in and get out here in the pack his first couple of laps and learn it, and get our Smithfield Ford Fusion where we needed to be.
Darrell Wallace Jr. He's always a pleasure, even though he's busy.
Yeah, these drivers are super busy. As you can see, they're trying to get from point A to point B. They have different meetings to go to, different things with their crew chiefs and their crews, and just trying to get ready for the race. So yeah, they're humming.
Well, he's got a little bit more on his plate as well, simply because he's a rookie. He's got rookie meetings. I'm sure he's got a lot of people he needs to go talk to figure out what that race car is going to do come race day.
Oh yeah, and the thing for the fans to understand is, for the drivers, they don't just head to the track and then jump in the car and start racing. There's a lot of different obligations they got to take care of while here, on a race day. So yeah, with the meetings, sponsor obligations, just all these different things they have to do. These drivers are very, very busy. So that's why you can see them walking very, very fast from place to place. It's not that they want to avoid the fans. They're just trying to get to their next obligation so they don't get in trouble.
So we're going to walk to the far side of this side of the garage, and then we're going to make our way back up.
I see the Mobil 1 car.
Yeah, let's stop and get some video of that Mobil 1 car.
Mobil 1, sponsor of GarageCam.
Of course, Mobil 1 always rocking the red, white, and blue. Very fitting for July 4th weekend.
Red, white, and blue. Gotta love it.
Now, Clint Boyer was someone who was heartbroken after that Sonoma race.
Oh yeah.
Last week. Arguably had one of the best cars there. But
yeah, there was a bunch of cars there that ran really well at first. Maybe qualified well, but then different things happened that might have set them back. I know Kyle Larson was very disappointed just because he started on pole and ran hard at first, but at the end, It was just, it was tough. So it's just how those road course races go. It's almost like short track racing. You never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to be there at the finish to win the race.
Not too much farther before we stop and make our way back up this side of the garage, but we're headed this way for good reason, because there is a certain car with a certain 88 on the side of it who happens to be the Pied Piper of this place, as Darrell Wallace would say.
Yeah. And it's his final race here, so, everyone's looking forward to watching them race this race, and maybe he might even come away with the victory and put himself in the playoffs.
As we yield to the number 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the Talladega winner.
I actually got a chance to run into Dale Jr. at Sonoma, and always love talking with him. He's a great guy. And as busy as he is, he always takes a moment to stop and chat with the fans, sign autographs, take pictures, and do all that. And just for him to be able to do that, especially with how busy it is, it's really great to see.
Those are lessons learned from Richard Petty, who is having an 80th birthday. NASCAR.com celebrating Richard Petty's 80th birthday all week and weekend.
Man, if Richard Petty could jump back in one of these cars and drive, I'd love to see that. We need to have some type of big all-star legends race or something like that.
Ty Dillon running the camo scheme on the Geico military Chevrolet SS.
Very patriotic, very Army-ish with the camo. Little Gecko Army, or Geico Army, should I say? You can see the number 88 right here, Dale Jr.'s car.
What do you think Dale's odds of winning?
I want him to win. I think he can. He's had a lot of success at this track, and with the fans behind him, with all 100,000 plus people here watching him, I think he's going to do well, and I think he'll be there at the finish as long as he can just dodge the big one. Dodge the big one, I think he has the opportunity to win this race.
You notice they're shining that thing up. Part of that so the car looks good. I think the other part of that is because they don't want any dirt, nothing on this car when they go out there, because they want it as slick as they can get it to cut through the air.
Yeah, and it makes a big difference with aerodynamics. This track is very, very much reliant on aero, and the slightest thing can throw off your speed, and you just have to, if you're just 0.2 miles per hour off of somebody, that adds up in the long run. How's it going, Ricky?
Wonderful. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. So we're here with GarageCam, just walking through the garage. How do you feel about this weekend? It's pretty hot out here. The track, I guess, is getting a little bit slicker than it has been in the past. How does that make you feel as a driver?
Yeah, we're going to practice during the day, which will be a little bit different than when we race at night. But our fifth third Ford was fast last time we were on a speedway. Handling's a little bit more important here at Daytona, so we're going to get out there in the draft and make sure that we get it tuned up right. And we're looking for it'd be nice to sweep again like we did at Talladega. So I know the guys have been working really hard on the 17 team, and hopefully we can sweep a weekend again.
Yeah, you had an awesome race at Talladega, and hopefully you can come out here and grab another good finish again, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, everybody said it was hot in California, 100 degrees, but it's not near as hot as this.
Oh, yeah, Sonoma was pretty crazy. I was there with the K&N Series racing, so I had fun there, and I got to watch the Cup guys the next day do their thing, so it was really fun watching y'all and learning from y'all.
Yeah, I hope you didn't take anything from me. We had an issue there, so, hopefully you're watching Kevin or somebody. But, no, Sonoma's fun. I enjoy it. It's just not one of my best racetracks right now. We made an improvement from the years past on our speed, but still didn't get the finish that we were always looking for. So, all in all, a fun weekend out there, but I am glad that we're here at Daytona.
Oh, yeah, I think you're going to do well.
Thank you.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr., always a classy guy.
You know what? I got to see him at the dirt track actually last weekend, too. He was doing some dirt racing. So him, Kyle Larson, Tony Stewart, and also Rico Abreu, they were all out there supporting the local dirt track with
Calistoga.
Oh, yeah. Maybe one of these days we need to have a stock car race there. So over here we have number 5, Casey Kane's car. He had a rough finish last weekend, but I think this weekend he's looking forward to starting on a positive note and finishing on a positive note. And, on board he has the UniFirst Uniform Services and Solutions for Chevrolet. Great paint scheme.
Let's get a look at the paint scheme next to that. That is
Oh,
Austin
man.
Dillon's machine.
This
Now, you can
is
go watch
awesome.
the time lapse of this car being wrapped
Wow.
on NASCAR.com. That video was uploaded a couple days ago. It's
Definitely
set to
watch
some
it.
very patriotic music. So go on there, click that out. You're obviously already on NASCAR.com right now if you're watching GarageCam.
And I'm proud to be an American,
Great song.
where at least I know I'm free.
Hope that falls under fair use. Now, your pick in the Xfinity Series race is Daniel Suarez.
Daniel Suarez, yeah. So that was my pick for the Xfinity race, but for the Cup race, for this Coke 0400, I'm really looking at Dale Earnhardt Jr. to take this one. He's one of my favorite drivers. Just love him as a person and as a driver, and I'm looking forward to him coming away with a great finish. And there's a lot of cars here that are going to be very competitive, though, so it's not going to be, a walk in the park. Everyone's out here fighting to win at Daytona, and it's a tough place to do it, but it's definitely possible.
We ran into Chase Elliott, driver of the number 4 Napa Chevy. Now, you have a history of at these super speedways of putting the cars on the pole, so what's the 24 out in it this weekend?
I don't really know. We, this week's such a different week from the 500. We put a little more emphasis, I think, on our car driving good for the race than you do for qualifying. You don't really have the opportunity to make it, tune it up a lot like you do for qualifying here at the 500. So if you qualify good, great. I'd rather it be fast come race time, though.
Is the pressure higher here simply because the 24 team has a track record of being fast from when Jeff was in the car?
Not really, no. I mean, I think, we've made our Speedway program better since I got here in 2016. I think it's just kind of slowly been a little better each race, and I feel like Talladega might have been about even from what we were at Daytona, maybe not quite as good, but I thought our effort here for the 500 this year was strong, and not a very good result, but the car was fast.
Perfect. Chase Elliott, thank you very much. His time will come. That win is lurking.
Oh, yeah, he's been doing great the last 2 years, and especially in his sophomore season and everything. It's coming. It's definitely coming.
Trevor Baines, number 6, he won in the number 21 car here at the Daytona 500.
Oh, yeah,
racing for the Wood brothers. Yeah. I think producer Chuck Bush is going to go track down Ryan Blaney, podcast
Blaney
superstar. Chuck's on his way to go find Ryan. If you haven't checked out the Glass Case of Emotion podcast, it is they talk about a lot of things on and off of the racetrack. It's pretty entertaining. You should go on there and log on to www.nascar.com/podcast and check out all the things that Ryan Blaney, Kim Kuhn, and Chuck Bush drum up. Last week, they actually had Dale Earnhardt Jr. on, so you'll want to go check that one out.
The Velveeta Shells and Cheese Chevrolet. Man, Ryan Newman's car. This thing, I'm hungry for cheese right now.
Liquid gold.
Anybody got any nachos? Because I'm ready to eat.
It looks like we may have secured a Ryan Blaney sighting.
Uh-oh. It's like a Pokemon.
Yeah, he's conversing right now, but I think he's down to do it.
Let's walk over there. Let's see if we can ambush this guy.
Let's make the journey. Hey, look, it's Clint Boyer. Got anything to say, Clint?
What's up? How's it going, Mr. Ryan Blaney? So we're here with GarageCam. I just want to talk to you real quick about how you feel about the track this weekend, the weather. I guess it's getting a little bit more slick out there. So, how does that make you feel as a driver, and what's that do for your team?
Yeah, it's definitely hot. This is Daytona in July for sure, and it's nice that it's a night race, to be honest with you. But yeah, the track sits in the sun all summer, and it gets really slick. And honestly, when it cools down at night, it just gains a lot more grip. The 500, we have our hands full actually with our cars. The track is really slippery and no grip on it, but at night it kind of gets better to where handling isn't as big of a factor, but the track's aging nicely to where it's starting to become a factor. So we'll get out there and do some laps and practice and see if we can find some speed in our car and then get ready to go qualify tomorrow.
With your great finishes that you've been having this year and just an improvement from last year to this year, how's that been helping your confidence as a driver this entire year?
Yeah, it's been big confidence. I think once you get a full year under your belt, you kind of come back to these places for a second time and just know what you need a little bit more from whether it's speed driving it or car setup wise. You just have a little bit more of a an idea, and it's not only confidence for me, it's confidence for everybody on the team, and I feel like that is all going around pretty well and just distributed very evenly, so that never hurts. Having confidence is always good.
Most definitely. Looking forward to you having a great finish.
I've got something for you. This is not racetrack related. So first off, new GarageCam host, who dis? And have you heard back from Katie Nolan, as you guys heard us talk about earlier? This guy's got a hit podcast on NASCAR.com, NASCAR.com/podcast if you want to go listen to it. So tell us about those shenanigans.
What shenanigans?
Those shenanigans.
You want me to pistol whip you or something? Yeah, the podcast is great. The Glass Case of Emotion podcast is really fun with myself, Kim Kuhn, and Chuck Bush. So that has been really fun to do this year. I think it's been pretty neat to have some guests on. We had Dale on a couple weeks ago. That was fun to have him on, and we're looking for our next guest. So I'm not really sure who we'll have this week.
Maybe me.
But that's been a lot of fun to do, and it's nice to kind of hang out during the week and talk about shenanigans. So
Appreciate your time.
yeah, hey, thanks for having me.
You know, if you really want to find out the shenanigans, you'll have to tune in to the podcast. Go now after you're done with this. Listen to it while you're watching practice. NASCAR.com/podcast. Glass Cave Emotion. For life.
Boom. Mic drop. That's up. I don't want to drop this mic. It's a little expensive.
I may not have dropped one earlier.
So we're walking over here. We're next to number 20, Matt Kenseth. With
That
his
car,
DeWalt.
it's always fast. Anything
It's
with
always
Matt
looks
Kenseth
good.
behind the wheel is always fast at Daytona.
He's a baller. Straight baller. Shot caller.
As we make our way back to the Mobile 1 car.
The Mobile 1 car, number 14, been driven by Mr. Clint Boyer himself. Patriotic scheme on it. Red, white,
Mobile
and
1,
blue.
the official sponsor of NASCAR.com GarageCam.
The official sponsor of NASCAR. GarageCam.
Joey Logano sitting in the driver's seat of the number 22 Pennzoil Ford Fusion. Big announcement a couple weeks ago. Him and his wife, Brittany, announced that they're expecting.
Man, I feel like every driver is, popping out some babies recently.
It worked for Kevin Harvick. Keelan came along, and then he won a title.
Yeah, Joey Logano always is, in the hunt for a title, so looking forward to seeing what he's going to do this year. We have the FedEx number 11 Toyota Camry being driven by Denny Hamlin. It's always cool. Got to talk to Denny Hamlin a little bit earlier this year. He got this cool simulation rig in his house, and he's always on iRacing, just playing the simulator. So it's always cool to see some of the drivers who are racing in the Cup Series and Xfinity Series and Truck Series jumping on a simulator like that and having fun and trying to learn a few things from it. And, I try to use it myself a lot to gain as much track time I can without actually having to be on the track because it gets a little pricey. And it's always a good time. Over here we have Jamie Murray and his number 1 McDonald's car.
How about Jimmy Johnson going for win number 84, trying to tie Darrell Waltrip and Bobby Allison?
That is just a lot of wins. I mean, this guy has been tearing it up ever since he got into the Cup Series. And, yeah, man, he's almost unstoppable. Very patriotic scheme, too, with the number 48 Chevrolet.
He's parked across from his teammate Chase Elliott, who we talked to a little earlier. Hendrick has really done a good job with their wraps and patriotic paint schemes.
Man, always supporting America and always supporting the troops, always supporting, everything this great country is about. And this shows with their scheme. So people get to watch, for a few hours on Sunday and, some hours today while they're on the track practicing. They get to see these patriotic schemes go by. It just gives us, a nice sense of, good morale. So love that they're doing it. Love that NASCAR is a big supporter of our military, our troops, and the folks out there protecting our freedoms every single day.
Brad Keselowski signing autographs, taking pictures.
Getting ready to jump in the car.
Very, very dangerous here at Daytona. He always has speed at this racetrack.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And over to his right, we have the number 18 Toyota being driven by Kyle Busch, Interstate Battery Center car. Don't think he's around, but the car still looks great. We know Kyle Busch had some issues earlier this year with some tire issues and things like that, but hopefully he can make a great run this weekend. And, he's always fast. He's always in the hunt to win one of these. Maybe we'll see him possibly pull one away this weekend. We'll find out. Stay tuned for the Coke Zero 400.
Kevin Harvick, Daytona 500 winner. Couple Talladega wins. Was known as the closer from the time he won that 2007 Daytona 500, beating Mark Martin.
He's strapped in right now. I know he's on a confidence high right now after his 2 wins last weekend. Winning the Cup race at Sonoma and also winning the K&N race at Sonoma, both in one weekend. And he fought hard during that K&N race, and he was fighting hard against another K&N driver, Will Rogers, who really gave him all he could. And they fought hard all race, and Kevin Harvick still pulled away with the win. But definitely kudos to Will Rogers for pushing hard and really showing him what he was worth.
Now, if we jump on the other side of this toolbox, we have, I believe it's the birthday boy, Martin Truex Jr. 37 years young this weekend or today?
34.
I think your math might be wrong, brother.
He doesn't look a day older than 28. How's it going?
How are you, bud?
I'm good.
All right, so tell me a little bit about this Daytona car you got, and can you get yourself a nice birthday present come Saturday night?
Well, we're going to try. Looking forward to it. It's got the NRA Museum on our Bass Pro Toyota, so we're excited about that, and it should be fun. So, man, Daytona in July has not been very kind to us as a team.
Very hot.
Or as me as a driver over the years. So hopefully our luck will change this weekend with it being the birthday and all that stuff. And coming off a week of bad crappy luck last week, hopefully it'll turn around.
Well, one good thing is that you're fast week in and week out. So are you planning to at least win one stage this weekend?
At least one. Hopefully, hopefully all 3.
All righty, we appreciate your time. Martin Truex Jr. trying to find victory lane on his birthday weekend. He says he's 34, but
I'm telling you, he's 28.
He's
28.
I think the birth certificate might say 1980 on it. So my math tells me 37.
Right here we have the Credit One Bank number 42 Chevrolet, being driven by Kyle Larson, and he's strapped in right now. He had a special scheme going on with his suit and his gloves and his race shoes this weekend. You always love seeing the drivers changing that stuff up. It's really everyone's starting to have their own style when it comes to how they dress for these races, and it's really cool to see, and it keeps things fresh and something new to look at.
It's almost kind of like golf, certain golfers like Ricky Fowler wears the crazy bright colors, and we all know John Daly. He's kind of a loud dresser, but Kyle Larson's your points leader. 3 wins in his Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series career, 2 this year. Him and Martin Truex Jr. bringing the best out in each other as competitors. They can't seem to get away from each other on the track. Maybe a little bit of a rivalry building and growing there.
I see Kyle Busch down there. He's walking our way.
He means business.
He does mean business. At least he's not. Yeah.
We have a bunch of unread stuff on the chat. Let's knock these out.
Oh yeah.
Linda Sturdvint, show the 48. We got Jimmy
Johnson.
Linda, do you think Jimmy can grab 84 here? Terry Camp says, go Joey Logano. Wanda Teague loves Daytona. Daytona is a great place if you can find shade. It is getting warm out here.
But it's a great place to be, and if you come out here, especially if you're in one of your, fifth wheels or something like that, and you can bring out a little mini pool or something like that, it's always awesome. Keeps you cool and allows you to have a good time while here at Daytona.
Tony Zola, he's cheering for Clint Boyer this weekend. And then the last one, the sun is killing my vision. Edgar Martin, let's see Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson just passed by. Yeah, he just passed by. He's heading onto the track. He's getting ready to, put on a show out there and practice, find some speed, see where they're at, make some adjustments, go out there and do it again.
Well, you're watching Kyle Busch strap into his race car, and it's about time for us to pack it up and go in as these guys hit the track for first practice in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. The Coke Zero 400 is Saturday night at 7:30. on NBC, NBC's first race of the year. We hope to make it a good one for you, but thanks Jesse Awuji for helping me co-host today. Thank you guys for
Always a
watching.
pleasure.
And as Matthew Dillner would say, we'll see you at the races.
See you guys.